What is going on, everybody, in the Epiko Regal world? We thought we would jump in here and come up with a video covering Dcon and everything that's been going on in the Epiko Regal world. We've got a slew of people in here, along with the global leader, Old Burnt Turn Slick, Chris Coffey, SoCal, Bora, and Venkatesh, the CEO himself from Epiko Regal. And we're going to be kind of going over the Twitter space and the stuff that's been posted. And we're going to let the man kind of talk about what is going on in his head. I want to go ahead and jump in because it's going to be ending really soon. They posted up on here a NFT airdrop and more free rewards. Scan the QR code, claim your NFT in Discord. Hurry up, this offer expires on the 30th of November. So Venkatesh, go ahead and jump into that and tell us what you got going on.
Yeah, so this campaign was especially for the event where we were doing like an NFT airdrop, giving away some rewards for some tasks that had to be done. So we got a huge response with this, and yeah, so the response for this particular campaign was pretty good. There was a company by the name Persona who also ran this campaign for us by minting this NFT task airdrop. The main motto was to have as much engagement, bring in some more new players, you know, conduct the tournament in a way, maybe gearing up for the David U tournament that we should have once the build is approved on iOS. We had an issue with the iOS build that was released earlier last week because I think it was crashing on iPad Pro. So we're getting that tested. And I'm really happy that the OMI tournament that was conducted, three people won, and the other seven, basically of the top 10, are rewarded with some NFTs and Epiko tokens. And this is the first tournament we basically gave off, wherein we gave away Epiko tokens. So it pretty much was a fruitful campaign, and I really think it helped to bring traction along with the event, the Designer Con event. So that's about this particular campaign that we created. Yes. So should I talk some more about this campaign, or maybe we can move on to the next tweet?
No, go ahead and we can keep
Oh,
going on. Talk about the
uh,
the David U character and what we can expect with that would be awesome as well.
yeah, I think this is the first tweet that we have so much engagement for, and it's not even a promoted tweet; it's all organic. So yeah, thanks to the community for showing their support and like joining us with our journey.
Absolutely. Is that all you had to cover on that?
Yeah, on that particular tweet, I think
All right.
that by far the yeah.
Right. So let's go ahead and jump into the David U character that's going to be coming up in the game. What is it going to take to unlock that? Is that NFT only, or will you be able to acquire him from chest as well?
You can collect him from chess as well. He would be like another card, but he's just a superhero. So he basically, you can see the video recording we had from the beta testing. It shows that he's a little more powerful with regard to his attack and moves. Wherein he just has like a charge run and then he starts creating like doing damage to the tower. So he's a special character. Again, he's the first superhero in Epiko Regal. So I myself am very excited to see David Yu as a card, and I think David Yu was waiting as well, but we couldn't have it for the event. But I'm looking to have the build with the David Yu card maybe this week, hopefully.
Awesome.
So there's a video if you scroll down wherein I think I posted about it. Yeah, one of the videos wherein even David you tweeted about it.
Right
I think
here it
that's the one.
is.
Yeah, yeah, that's the video. That's the video. So you can see, he has like a charge run. He runs up and then he has a charge run and then he starts attacking the tower. So I think the countercards to this may be Coconut Army, but I don't know how it's going to work in real time unless players play David Yu and maybe to counter the Coconut Army, you might have to use the spell or maybe the log. as as a support to the David Yu character, so that he can actually uh, get to the tower and destroy it. So I think it's a
Now,
cool character, and I'm really waiting for it to just come out in the build. Yeah.
absolutely. Whenever he does the charge, is it like a AoE damage where it would cut through the coconuts, or is it just hit one character at a time per punch?
Um, I think I'll have to see that how it's done because I haven't seen it myself. I just had this video, so once the build is out, I'll be able to tell. Or maybe I should have called someone from my team so that they could explain that better.
Well, it looks like it does
But
a
they just
lot of damage to that tower, and if you don't take care of that real
exactly.
quick, it'll pretty much it'll just devastate that whole thing. It looks like it got it down to 700 HP.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So he's the first hero, and so we thought that he should have something special, and people should actually value this character or fear this character because if you don't have him in your deck, then you might not stand a chance
Right. What
unless
what
you're
did what was
OBPS.
David Yu's impression whenever you showed him this?
No, he's just waiting for it. He's pretty much impressed even with the Dan's character.
Right.
He really wants this character out as soon as possible.
That's
So he
awesome.
asked me when it's gonna come. Yeah, so he's excited into it. So he'll start playing maybe.
Awesome. Well, old burnt turn slick. The global leader here. I want to get your first impressions whenever you've seen this video. What do you think about the David Yu character?
Man, I'm ready for all these new characters. I've probably never wanted something so badly. I've been waiting. Gonna be like a Christmas present to me when these come out.
Yeah, that's
And
for sure.
I wanted to say that recent Omi tournament was awesome. Playing real people. Because one day I played for 16 hours, and usually I'm just I play, and most of the games are bots. But that last Saturday. It was all real people. I'd say it was like 90% real battles for 16 hours, and it was crazy.
Yeah, it was definitely an intense. And for those that don't know, they just hosted a tournament where it wasn't you played like a bracket. It was whoever acquired the most trophies over 48 hours. Is that what it was?
72 hours.
72 hours. And like people were just probably zombies on day three trying to grind. And I mean, it was some nice Omi prizes on there. So I definitely, want to give a big shout out to the team and Epiko Regal and everybody for doing that. And that was something new and different from the prior tournament that they did that was bracket. So I like the the evolving, changing, keeping it fresh, doing new things, kind of giving everybody a chance because even if you are not a top tier player, you still had a chance to win some of that Omi. So I definitely appreciate that and look forward to seeing that kind of stuff. Bora, how did you do in the tournament? Were you able to participate? I don't guess he's there. But anyway, SoCal and Chris, were you guys able to join in or are you just checking it out?
No, just checking it out, man. Me and
Gotcha.
Old Burnt Turn Slick actually used to be in the same clan.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah. Chris Coffey was one of the. Well, I saw the game, a couple people promoting it, but when he joined up one day, I was like, you know what, I'm gonna jump in. He was the one that actually I made the jump into the game, seeing him on Twitter talking about it, and I joined his clan.
Yeah, I pretty much seen Venkatesh shout out, the partnership prematurely, by the way, Venkatesh, about the game with Veve, and that's kind of what drew me to it. And ever since, it's been history. So I think I've been playing for 7 or 8 months now. Pretty much, me and Old Burnt Turn Slick started at the same time.
Yeah. So I didn't know that Chris Coffey actually was the one to speak about it and then bring in a player like Old Bird. So thanks a lot, Chris, for that. The credits to you, man.
Yeah, and that just
Yeah, it's
kind of
kind of
goes
fun.
to
It's
show
kind of
the.
funny. I failed to mention that all weekend after spending the entire weekend with you. But yeah, I was like one of the first people that went from from the VV community that started playing Epiko Regal.
Oh wow, nice, man.
That's
Cool, cool.
awesome. Yeah, that just shows you how strong the community is for Veve and Epiko Regal, and how we're all sticking together and doing this and pushing forward. And it's going to be interesting to see where it goes in the future for sure. So let's kind of scroll back up here right quick and talk
So,
about.
one quick question. I mean, what do you all think we should do for the David Liu tournament? I mean, we've done whatever we can to have like an engaging tournament, but I want to do a David Liu tournament for Christmas maybe. So, is there anything specific that you would want as a reward, or you think would be good for the community? Any kind of suggestion, any feedback with the previous tournaments that we conducted?
I got as far as the tournament itself, maybe make it maybe make each opponent a 2 out of 3, or even a 3 out of 5, or first to 4. Where you get to play more than 1 or 2 games. Maybe make you first to 4 wins. I know it'll be harder to prove the wins and stuff, and also it may be a double elimination bracket. Just I don't know, just not putting so much on one game. I would enjoy that. But as far as prizes, I don't know. Anyone else got an idea on prizes?
That's tough for me. I'll have to think about it, but initially, something that pops in my mind, and I only say this because I just did it the other day, is who can come up and have a screenshot of the fastest time ran with the David Yu character, maybe. Maybe a vote for the best counter. I don't know. I'll definitely have to think on that. I will definitely let you guys know. I will post it on Twitter and we'll see what people can come up with at this time, because I really can't think of nothing. I mean, the last 2 tournaments have been real good. So maybe it's who can come up with the best something with David Yu in the card, or what's the best partner for David Yu. What about you guys? Okay. Well, we'll move right along to everyone has a superhero inside of them waiting to be discovered. Epiko is bringing, and excuse me if I butcher this, Kolkata Kid-a-thon, of a fun run for kids to promote good and healthy fitness in partnership with Horlicks India. Kid-a-thon organized by Round Table India, Ladies Circle Ind. So if you want to go ahead and break down a little bit, Venkatesh, what's going on with that. I haven't been able to research that. I would definitely like to hear about it.
So Kirathon is again an event that we are doing, and in this we would have, I think about one about a million participants and all kids over in, across India. So we basically want to conduct a tournament with them, and we want to have like maximum engagement that we can get from this tournament. So it's the first time we are doing this, and we've been in Comic Con, we've been in Designathon, and Kidathon just came up with, they approached us, and we thought that we should give it a try. So this is the first time we are doing it ourselves. So we'll know on the 27th how exactly this tournament goes. I wouldn't be there at that point of time, but my team is definitely going there. So they would go there in person, and they would engage with the students. Yeah.
Well, it looks like the registrations are sold out, so it seems like it's going to be a good event. And I definitely look forward to seeing some videos and pictures that y'all post up of that.
Yeah. Sure. We would be doing that.
So the tournament we were just talking about, where you had the 3 days of grinding, pretty much Fat Booty won and got 500,000 Omi. Cresta got 300,000 Omi, and Old Burnt Turn Slick coming in at 200,000 Omi, and then the top 7 players got 1,000 Epiko tokens plus an NFT. So that's pretty awesome. Shout out to Sagittarius, Sudi, 007 Veve, Hotawiz, Cali Bob, and ZJMKLV F5IO3 and Tamazinko. So those are the winners of the top 10 of the last tournament they had. Shout out to all you guys. Great job. I know you had to do a lot of grinding to do that.
Yeah, it was some. It really was a great week, I would say. I mean, the 72 hours, I think that's the highest engagement we've got since we launched.
Yeah, I can only imagine. So, old Burn Turn Slick, how many times do you think you lost in that tournament?
It was mainly Krista was the only one that was getting me pretty consistently. Maybe somebody else would hear, you know, but I was on it. I was playing pretty hard. But yeah, I'd say Krista was getting me Fat Booty, but we didn't run into each other too much because we play on completely different time zones. So, and then
Yeah.
some of the other top players will get me every now and then. But yeah, shout out to Fat Booty and Krista mostly that will take me down.
Yeah, I went against Fat Booty 3 times back to back. I even tried like spacing myself out so I didn't have to fight that guy because he's freaking incredible, and he just killed me all 3 times. So I was like, got frustrated. So shout out to Fat Booty. But let's go ahead and jump into this little gem of a new character coming to Veve right here. So what is the name? Uh-oh, I screwed something up. What is the name of this character? And what can we expect from this, Venkatesh?
So this is basically, I think you can guess the character. It's Dan Crosby. So again,
I think he's busy.
Superhero we have. No, I'm just in the plane. So I just got into the place. Sorry. Yeah. So basically, this is Dan Crother. Can you guys hear me? Clear?
Yeah, I can hear you. Kind of were muffled a little bit there.
Yeah, I just got into the plane and I have
Okay.
15 minutes. But yeah, so this character was supposed to be again completed during Designer Con. We did our best to have everything done. Even give a surprise to Dan. But yes, I mean, I think this character was appreciated. This is basically Jim Clotho. As you can see, this is going to be the second of VV into the game Epiko Regal. Hopefully, we should have it. I'm not sure if we can have it by Christmas, but then maybe in Q1 we can look to have this character. And this character basically would attack on the right hand, and then he would also be able to attack with the shurikens, the crocodile shurikens, so he can attack air unit.
You're a little bit muffled, man. I'm not sure what's going on there.
Okay.
Well, while Venkatesh is getting settled in there, he's getting on the plane, and that just shows you how busy this man is, able to jump in here right before he's getting on a plane to talk to us briefly. Old Burnt Turn Slick, what do you think this character is going to be like in the game?
Well, he's got a. Did he say something about a shuriken?
It
Are we
sounded
talking
like that,
Street Fighter?
A crocodile shuriken.
I see the sword coming out of his right arm.
So-
He's got spikes coming out of his cheeks like his head. I don't know what's gonna be going on with that. I don't know. It looks cool. It looks like another David Yu. I bet it's gonna be like close up battler.
Well, that's what I'm wondering, if the blade is going to be for close combat, but if somebody's running past him like Jimvanta, he's going to be able to throw the little throwing star at him while he's punching somebody in the face. So
Nice. Yes.
he's very futuristic looking for sure. This was kind of a shock when you posted this. I didn't know where this was going.
Oh, yeah. Venkatesh said crocodile shuriken for air units. Crocodile shuriken.
So it's going to be air and ground. Okay. It's very interesting for sure. Yeah. I can't wait to get it. I'm sure it's going to be ultra epic, but at the end of the day, they've been releasing a whole lot of ultra epic cards, and they're going to have to bring in some rares and commons at some point. And they released a lot of different a lot of different cards coming out, so they can't be ultra epic. So we got to get some good rare stuff coming in too.
I bet they're all going to be hero characters. All these characters based on real people, just like the David Yu one was.
Right, for sure. But yeah, that's pretty sweet. Now they're just kind of showing some stuff, and this is one thing I would like to see the team do a little bit more of. Is Hello K posted a video talking or kind of showing the booth. I'd like to see a little bit more of an insider of the booth. That way, whenever people can't go, we don't really know what that looks like. And I've worked shows before for my prior company, And there's a lot of work that goes into a booth, setting it up and really showing it off. So, this is kind of a glimpse of what they had going on there. They had stickers. I'm assuming that's a poster, a keychain, probably a business card and pinhole or a pin, and a little bit of swag that they probably give out at the show to get you some swag bags on. If we can actually get Venkatesh before he runs away to really break down, I think this is kind of an important thing. The Epiko NFTs morphing. Now, we did pick his brain just a little bit, old Burnt Turnslick and I, kind of trying to figure out if this was going to be in the game or the Veve verse. And if I heard him correctly, understood it, this will be the movie coming out. Is that what it was? The movie? And how these things will morph and transform in it. Let me see if I can pull it up right quick. Do you recall what this was? Old Burnt Turnslick.
Yeah, I thought the same. I thought it might be an in-game attribute, but he said it has to do with the movie. So I'm wondering, are these characters in the movie, or is he going to pay my NFT to act, and he's going to start paying me in crypto maybe, and all my NFTs are acting in his movies? That's what I'm going with.
Yeah, I'm trying to find where we were talking about it. Oh, I guess it was on Twitter, not Discord. That's why I can't find it. So let's see. Every time a character is morphed with a element, they get a better NFT worth more dollars. So doing an activity to create value for a morphed NFT. These are only early stage concept. There is more to it. I will have another article for this in Q1 once they are good. And then he kind of went over the games and stuff that are coming up. So it's not going to be in the Epiko verse. It's not going to be in Epiko Regal. Even though it's very interesting what he's got going on here, it kind of gives me the RPG element vibes that I would love to see in the game for sure.
Yeah. Venkatesh said he'll release the article soon. I think he's getting on the plane. But he's still talking in the chat, the game chat.
Right, yeah, just keep me up to date on that. But he's got the 5 elements of air, earth, energy, water, and fire. 5 variants of Angad, which is kind of crazy looking. Like these right here is just nuts, man. Stage 1 fusion.
For like 10 characters in the game.
And
use it in the movie.
I can't tell if he's talking to us or not. But I'm wondering if they're going to use Epiko tokens to morph these things. Ooh, let me turn that down right quick. But yeah, what are your thoughts on this? Or is there something I'm not covering and missing on here?
Yeah, I think as of now, it's just the like NFTs morphed with elements to give like the NFTs.
So when you say morph, are we going to have to take Angad that's already on the market right now and morph that and it burns it?
Yeah, that's right. Yes.
Okay. So it's kind of like a mutation with Bored Apes kind of scenario, I guess. Very interesting. I definitely cannot wait to see that for sure. All right. So while we got a few minutes of Venkatesh, I'm going to go ahead and open the floor up so you guys can pick Venkatesh's brain before he takes off on his plane to evolve Epiko Regal anymore. So old Burnt Turnslick, we'll go ahead and start with you. What do you want to ask the man himself?
Let's see. Venkatesh, when is the Epiko verse? Is it gonna be like gamified? Is it just gonna be like a walk around thing, like, or is there gonna be actual games in the Epiko verse?
Yeah. We will have like games basically. That's what we've planned. At the moment, we're just modeling all the monuments, and we will have a gamification mechanism that players can collect gold, wood, food, and basically.
Yeah, he's just cutting out. It's too... I'm not catching any of it.
I did catch you said yes, it will be gamified, but yeah, I didn't catch much of the rest.
Well, see, what I'd like to see is like some Age of Empires kind of gamification in there. That'd be awesome because that game has been around forever and everybody understands that style. So that'd be pretty fun.
Yeah, I want to see the gaming, man. I don't want to like the VVverse. It's cool, but I'm not gonna be the one that just goes and hangs out in a virtual world just to like hang out. I know that's some people's thing, but me, I'd rather game.
Allegedly.
Yeah.
I'll open it up. Chris or SoCal, NFT Hodler, you got anything for Venkatesh? Okay, they're hanging out.
Yeah, I'm good, man. Just lurking, soaking it in.
I got you, man. Venkatesh sent something here. So let me pull this over and kind of show what we got going on here. Venkatesh just sent this over to us. There is a crafting mechanism. Collect resources: food, wood, gold, gems, and earth. Blacksmith, lumber mill, farmland, gold mine, and land. So there it is, official Veve, or excuse me, not Veve, but Epiko land coming soon. Right, Venkatesh? No, can't get an answer out of him. Hopefully he'll message us, and we will find out more
He
about
said
it.
yes.
Okay, so there it is. It is official. So yeah, I'm definitely liking the RPG aspect of this. This is more of my style of gaming. I cannot wait to see where this is going to go. So is this tied to the Epiko verse where you do this? So you're in there, you're a character, you're running around, you're harvesting lumber. You're going to take lumber and gold to build your castle to defend against people? Or am I overthinking this? Which equals Epiko token. So maybe it's just a mining aspect to it. So you harvest this wood to sell it to get Epiko token. But what I'd like to see is you mine it to build castles or sell it for Epiko token, and then you can use Epiko token to upgrade your stuff in the Epiko verse.
He wrote, you collect resources and can own buildings, which will further produce resources for you. Collecting resources and resources produced will be equated to Epiko tokens.
Okay, so I'm liking that for sure because that's awesome. Yeah. I
Sounds
can't
like
wait
you'll be
to
earning
build.
Epiko
So like,
tokens.
is
Be
it
earning
going to
tokens
be?
in the Epiko verse.
What was that?
Sounds like you'll be earning the Epiko tokens in the Epiko verse.
Oh, okay. So with these resources, I just want to get this right. We're going to be using it to build castles and everything, or your kingdom. Now, will people be able to donate resources that they've harvested for your kingdom? Because that would be pretty awesome to help build the elite kingdom as well. And will there be like catapults, defense mechanisms that you can put up? Earn Epiko tokens. Yes, there will be donating resources feature as well. Man, that's interesting. So we're looking at what do you say? Q4 next year for Epiko verse and all this stuff. I'm assuming. So this is kind of like pre-stages. Can we expect alpha or beta testing for this anytime in the future? That would be my question to Venkatesh.
Yeah, it looks like they got it up.
Q1, Q2 will have beta released. So we kind of seen with the Veve verse that they had fiches running around there. Is there a potential chance that we can see Veve NFTs in the Epiko verse? How cool would that be?
Yeah, I would like to see that.
And to switch it around a little bit, all right, so one thing Venkatesh talked about with me was He's going to be having VV characters David, Daniel, Reese, and Eagle Eyes, and mentioned should have their Mighties too. So can we expect Epiko Regal VV team Mighties running around in the VV verse first appearances?
Well, they said in Viviverse, they said you could import, from other platforms. So
Right.
I imagine we could send these.
So if the Epiko verse does all that stuff, how cool would it be to see that running around the VV verse? It's definitely, oh my God. So like, they always talked about being player one and all that, and you see this integration, and oh man, I'm just blown away at like all the stuff they're doing. It's just incredible to me. Interoperability is definitely there with Epiko verse and Portal to VV verse. So there you go. We already know it's coming. You heard it first from Venkatesh. Well, you can't really hear it, but you can read it on the screen right here. But interoperability is coming, and that's just another step of the growth of the community and what we can expect in the future for sure. So, yeah. Anybody have any questions or comments on that? Your thoughts? I know you guys are sitting back soaking it in, but I want to hear from you.
I love learning about these all these new characters, and mythologies and stuff.
It has been interesting seeing the Indian, culture and looking into it and seeing all the characters. It's finally nice. I mean, as much as I love Marvel and DC and all that, they've been around for so freaking long. I'm ready for something new to come along. And how awesome would it be to be at the ground level of the new, Marvel and DC, which is Epiko coming up with all the characters, what they're building, and becoming the future.
Was the demo that was shown at Dcon the sneak peek, or is that different?
They've shown a couple Epiko verses, not quite as long as that, so that's kind of like a longer sneak peek, but that's kind of what's to come, kind of the layout and what they're working on.
Because I got to see that one and it was really nice.
Yeah, actually, it's very and you can tell it's like early stages, but like it was flowing really well. And you think gamification, even if it's like snowball or sandball fights or whatever, throwing at each other, running around, and I always resort back to Age of Empires and a castle tower defense where you can go and send armies to devastate people's kingdoms down. And if you do it to where you alliance up with a bunch of other kingdoms and then you go and take down Omi 24/7, which shout out to everybody in there, people gonna be coming at us, and if you defend a big attack, then you get cut Epiko tokens, or how you integrate a burn, which I'm sure they might do a burn. I don't know, they've never mentioned a burn, but just thinking Omi. But if Epiko does a burn, that would be crazy, because I think there's only 300 million tokens of the Epiko, which that's not a whole lot. But yeah, I mean, there's just unreal the stuff you can do in this game. I wish Venkatesh could get on here so I could pick his brain a little bit more, but he's at least communicating through chat until his plane takes off. Message to burn.
He's talking about that the massage chairs he's gonna set up and burn Omi with.
Message to burn Omi.
The Omi, yeah.
Omi, not Epiko. Yeah, well, there we go. you start talking about some stuff and get some clarification on there. But yeah, Omi, they got the burn, not Epiko. They got 300 million tokens, I believe, and all that good stuff.
I'm gonna be playing in the massage chair. I have my arms out. I'll be playing and getting the massage.
What the heck is this? Get on the massage chair to burn Omi.
He's setting up massage chairs, and I guess you pay to use it, and he's gonna burn the Omi with the fee.
What the heck? Massage chair to burn Omi. I mean, that's incredible. I mean,
Yeah,
that's
they got some
awesome.
videos on Twitter. I saw Kay and Venkatesh sitting in them.
Oh, I did see that. I didn't catch that though. Chris Coffee Beans with Epiko. So every time he drinks coffee, he burns on me, huh? Oh my God.
Yes, yeah, we should be playing the tournament while getting the massage.
While
That's a good
getting the
idea.
massage. Oh my God. This has gone way too far.
That'll help keep the blood pressure down during a match with a fat booty.
Oh my God. Yeah, that is no doubt. Like that dude is incredible and like just makes me so mad because it's always down the wire, but he always wins. But I did beat him the other day. Yesterday, I think. So I'm getting on to him. I'm catching his ways for sure. Here's the shirts that they had at the Dcon. Get you today with Epiko. And then on the front, it says, I choose you. And it's got the you character from Epiko Regal. Venkatesh sitting here posing with everybody. I don't know who these people are, but they picked up some shirts. So shout out to these people.
That's Salsa Cash.
That is Salsa Cash. Okay.
Top player.
God almighty, that's awesome. I'm glad they got to go, man. I'm so daggum mad I
I
didn't get
didn't
to.
realize who that was. That's cool. They had some good dance moves. I saw them at the bowling alley. They got up and started dancing.
You must really know salsa. It's not just the name.
Right. That's awesome. Shout out to Salsa. Here he's getting signed by David Yu. Everybody showing their stuff off. What is this? The collection sale. We talked about that. So this is a quick little video of the booth that they had. Kind of show you their setup. I didn't see any statues there. So where's the statues? I know it's probably a pain in the butt to like ship and mail all that stuff everywhere. I think the other Dcon, they had a bigger booth. Couple more pictures of the layout. Looking good, looking good. So, Chris, go ahead and tell me your experience at Dcon. Like, I've got to live my life through you guys talking about it in your videos, but what was the highlight for you going to Dcon?
My roaster is making an obnoxiously loud noise. I apologize. I was waiting for that. I roast coffee, by the way. That's why my name's Chris Coffee. One of the reasons. Yeah, honestly, it sounds cliche, but just meeting everybody was really surreal. I mean, I spent way more of my time meeting people and talking to people that you've really not seen besides behind a JPEG, for the last 2 years.
Yeah.
So being able to have that experience together and it be even like more natural and like better than you expected, that was by far my favorite part. But the Designer Con itself was amazing. Like, I would highly recommend going to Designer Con, particularly probably in Anaheim, because like I like art, I like collectibles, and I like that style of stuff. So just being able to look around was awesome.
Yeah, was there any FUD at all? Like we're in the bear market, so everybody's down, everybody's out. But you go to these events, and they just shows you how strong the community is. And if it's like this now, where everything is down, where do you see it when we're back in the bull run, and how crazy it's going to be for Epiko and Veve?
Dude, to be honest with you, it's almost, I don't mean to be whatever, but it's almost better now because, like, the people that are there are the ones that are, like, there for the long run, whether that be in Veve, in Epiko, or in, like, Web3. So, like, it was almost like, we're down together, but we're still celebrating. And even if we went down to zero, which, like, obviously, like, we don't believe we will, then, like, these memories that we're making right now are worth the experience and the investment. So, like, honestly, I think it was, like, just the right size to be sweet and, like, intimate, for lack of better words. I think during the bull run, I think obviously you'll still have that, but it'll have to be, like, in smaller segments. It has to be in smaller segments. It has to be in, like, smaller groups because a lot of people are just going to be there for, maybe the money. A lot of people are just going to be there during the fad. And I think, during the bear market, we're able to weed out a bunch of those people.
Right. You can tell who's really into the project this way and, building that community on top of it. It's going to be awesome to sit back and be like, yeah, we were here during the bear market when everything went down 90%. Oh, I had never seen these cards yet. But I'm playing a little bit of a video here of the Epiko Valley game they've got coming out. And I believe I was reading somewhere on Twitter that this is going to be part of the augmented reality as well. So I guess they've got a physical, and you're going to be able to do this in AR pretty soon, if I read that right. And, you know, not everybody's got friends close to them, but we've all got friends over the interwebs where we could play the board game online. So I think they're integrating this in there. You know, that kind of opens up other games that are going to be coming out, old school board games that'll be played in AR, and that's kind of where AR is going. So I'm definitely looking forward to that.
For sure. Hey, guys.
Hey, what's going on?
What's up?
What's up? Hey, Chris.
What up?
It's NFT Hodler. So I can't talk too much because I lost my voice. I was there too, helping work in the booth and so.
You're at Dcon?
Yes, sir. Yeah, with Venkatesh and Chris and all them. NFT Hodler.
I'm just messing with you, bro. It's Chris. I knew you were there. I think we talked a little bit.
So what about you, NFT Hodler? What was your highlight of the whole event?
Hey, Chris, congrats on getting better at the operation thing, man.
Thanks, man.
I think it was meeting the fans. You have it's like these classification, the ones that have done a couple, and then seeing new people. So I think my highlight was seeing new people, seeing things for the first time.
Right.
And I've seen, and also Venkatesh, we Epiko Regal, the booth was kitty corner at the furthest end from Veve. So we didn't have that easy cross traffic. But when people did come to our booth, some were fans of Veve and knew of them, and some were new. So it was interesting to have people who weren't tied to Veve kind of walk by and be kind of inquisitive or questioning what was it about. And the way it's being built out, you could kind of tailor showing the company based on what their interest was, which was really exciting to see. So there was a kid who played the game, so we talked up the VR. The dad, another family, they didn't really care, but the dad liked the NFT aspect of it. So it was like, that's how you bring them in. You bring them in on one aspect that they like, and then you show this is something else we have.
Were these people like new to crypto and NFTs?
Exactly, yeah, crypto and NFTs, and then one guy was a gamer, and so it was interesting. You just kind of pitch it or show what it has, and then you show these other aspects like the board game. They thought that was interesting, and the board game's going to be physical, but then you can also play it in VR, across, you were kind of saying, somewhere else. So you have so many options. So there's something for everyone, which is to see how they reacted to that. To me, was powerful, because that just doesn't exist.
So yeah, I could see that being like the highlight of somebody saying, "Okay, this is crypto, this is NFTs," and the light bulb goes off, and they're like, "I get it now." Because for me, I've never understood why gamers are so hardcore against NFTs, because I think back to all the expansions I've bought, the characters, the skins I've bought, where once that system is, phased out, then it's gone. But if I had an NFT of it, I could resell it on the market, and people that like that nostalgia of going back and playing games could buy it versus it just being gone or having to buy a new one where you could repurpose it. So yeah, I could definitely see that being a highlight as well, when people see for the first time the AR, VR, and start putting things together. And for me, like sports cards and collectible places now, they're going to have to adapt to that, because as we move forward, whether it's 10, 20 years, we're all walking around with glasses, seeing our augmented geo-locked NFTs in places. Companies are going to be buying the Batmans, the Spider-Mans, whatever they're trying to sell, and placing it outside their store and locking it in there. And if they don't, then, well, that's just not staying with, the future and where things are going. So I can definitely see that being a staple moving forward with NFTs and people getting on board with it.
For sure.
Yeah.
I would like to the board game. The quality is pretty good, and the cards moving forward. What's nice is whatever kind of trends, I could definitely see the collectability side of that. Even though it's a board game, where you're releasing possibly expansion packs on those cards, and now all of a sudden that's a thing. So to be able to collect the cards, play the game in the AR or VR, and then also go to the app and play, the tower defense game, and then also go on VR and go on hunts, and with your crew to try and win or solve puzzles to win coins, Epiko tokens. I mean, it's so many different layers. It's just so many different options.
Yeah, I could. Yeah, as they evolve everything, it will be very advantageous for them to do that. Like I said, this is the first time I've seen the cards on this video. Those cards are freaking sweet, and it reminds me a lot of Magic the Gathering. I don't know if this game goes quite that crazy, but it's very cool.
Yeah, that's all new stuff that's not really out yet that you're seeing right now. So it's all new.
Old Burn Turn Slick, what do you think about that?
I think the board game looks awesome. I know that's just like a test version. I hope the little characters, the cards, hopefully they'll be 3D. I mean, those could even be collectibles, down the road. But yeah, I think it looks awesome, man. That board game, I would play it.
So what's not in that, and I got to hold one of them, is like you said, 3D holdable piece that was made out of a metal that stands and that you can move. And then those are like place those 2D thick cardboard as well.
Nice.
Yeah, they didn't have none of the statues at the show, did they?
No, and I talked to Venkatesh about that, and the process of that is going to be tricky and interesting because those cost a lot to make in mass amount. Yeah, but excuse me, I need to catch my breath. The next one by Dcon, hope to have a number of those where you could buy them and collect them in, but maybe in smaller sizes. But that's the plan, because those would be awesome, to put on your desk, and it just adds that extra layer.
Yeah, I have a bunch of statues, mainly from Borderlands, because it's one of my favorite games ever, and I have all the figures that they've ever pretty much come out with, and I would love to have my Epiko Regal statues next to that as well, because, it has definitely been a big part of my life. As some of you may know, I've been doing these videos with Old Burn Turn Slick for probably 8 months now, so it has definitely become part of me, and I definitely want to get the whole set, but we will see.
Yeah, I mean, they're great. Your videos are great for sure. This setup, this was more of a trial run. For example, we didn't have the booth anywhere near Veve, so that's something we were going to correct next time. Also, this is we'll have it more built out. So what you saw in terms of the video is kind of the setup, and this was just last minute kind of thing. So the next build out is going to be very thought out, and lots of different things to do. It's gonna be awesome. It's gonna be great.
Yeah, hopefully, as it grows and everything goes on, people that are linked, even if Fishes gets in there with you guys, it would be awesome if it was all hurdled up around each other, so that when people come around, they're like, check out our stuff, but our following, our group is so big that this person, we're all affiliated together in some way, shape, or form. And that just makes it even more bullish for everybody else to, raise an eyebrow and look into what's going on here. What are we missing out on if they're growing this big over time? So I think you're spot on with that.
Well, especially these events, the artwork and all that is great. And the different things that you can look at, but there's very little that's interactive. Veve had something that was interactive. You look at the Veveverse. There was a section at the place a lot of people didn't know, but there was an interactive play area geared towards kids and families, where you shoot a basketball and you do things like that. But it was like separate. So you really do stand out when we get a big enough floor and we have stations where you're doing massage to burn, And then we also have iPads, so you could do mini tournaments right there, live mini tournaments where you're playing the Epiko Tower Defense game. And then also we'll have multiple MetaQuest or Oculus, so you can experience that as well. So it'll be a destination in essence. People walking by, you see what's going on over there, and now you want to go. That's it. It's a destination as opposed to just kind of walking by.
Yeah, and it'll keep that traffic there as well. And as well as I do, if there's lots of people around, people are intrigued with what's going on there, and it's going to drive people to that direction. So I think that's an absolutely great idea to have those tournaments at that time, especially if you got big banners. You can win a prize or win this figure, statue, the Epiko token, crypto, whatever. And that's really going to drive people to come over there and check it out and participate, and then it's just going to organically grow from that point. And that's a great idea. I think they should do that for sure.
Exactly, because for this one, we were trying to show the game and explain it, but that would require them to scan it and download it because they probably don't have it. Now we're tied to their Wi-Fi system.
Right.
Or we have different Wi-Fi at the event. You have the good Wi-Fi, but then now you're tied to the public one that everyone else is on, and it makes it complicated. So it's just we have to kind of the barrier of entry, make it as small as possible. So that comes with a presentation of every aspect that you have. The less words we have to say, the quicker and more inclined they are to get the point. In essence.
Right, and having those devices with it already downloaded, they just step up. Have one here, side by side. It would be even fun to have a commentator to have a screen up where everybody can see the two battling, having somebody commentating, what's going on, getting that dopamine going where everybody's like, oh my God, I got to win. I got to get it. And, that would just bring up the community. That's freaking awesome. I'm like wanting to do it now.
Exactly. Yeah. And because if anything, what happens is if you have a line waiting, sometimes you don't know what they're watching and you're like, is it worth it? But when you have an Oculus that's tied to a TV and you can see what they see, now you're intrigued and that's entertainment. The goal is to keep them lingering. You want the crowd to be there. Even though they're doing nothing and just watching, you want that crowd to be there. And then they're like, well, let me see what else you have. Well, let me see what else. And then that's how, you do that. And the walk away, they don't have to pay $1, but the walk away is to download the app. The walk away, and it's free to play. That's the walk away, takeaway. And, it's free stickers and stuff. That's how you kind of stays with you.
Yeah, I agree 100%. Kind of where I see this going, and I've had this conversation with Venkatesh, and I know it's going to be many years, but you've got all these basketball football arenas, and as AR glasses evolve and they're not huge and bulky and you just slide them on, I could see people going to those arenas and picture Epiko Regal where you're putting down the map right there and it's right on the football field and it's in 3D and it's, X size, and then you can watch that stuff live, or you could be out there on ground floor looking around, walking around. And I even did a video with Kaleidoscope when they did some throne rooms that they released, and you walk around and seeing it, and I kind of gave my thoughts on that as well. So a shameless plug there to one of my old videos, kind of my thought process where I see this going in the future, and it's going to be interesting to see if it gets there, and then I can be like, 10, 20 years ago, I was talking about this. So, but that, that's a good conversation that we could have is, where do you want to see this augmented reality going? We'll start with old Burnt Turn Slick. Where do you want to see it go, and where do you see it going?
What, in general or just in Epiko?
Yeah, like what do you want to see? What is your vision of the AR and how it's going to evolve in time?
Well, I think it's going to be huge with all lines of work and entertainment. But as far as Epiko, yeah, I want to be battling with my characters, on the floor. I want to be able to just look down and see them there, or maybe be in the, we've talked about this before, in the sitting in one of the towers itself, things like that.
Yeah, I could definitely see the first iteration is Epicoverse be built out, and it's just moving around and doing like adventures with your crew to complete tasks. go on hunts, things like that, and then the next step is that battling, because then that's a whole other aspect. You have to work out all the beta and all the other things, and then you can get into that, and possibly even wagering, which would be kind of fun. But I do know when interoperability happens for other IP and Viviverse, one of the first things that will be ported over, of course, will be what? The heroes. Heroes
Right,
like David and Reese and Dan and Eagle Eye, those assets, and that is going to really explode, because now you're going to have the VV people who want to come over, and you're looking at FA. Now that doesn't matter that much in our world, but VV world, FA is everything. And what's interesting is they didn't make FA Dan and team. Epiko did. So now they're going to come over, grab this, and bring it over, and there's that exposure. The people in that world is, what the hell is this character? Where do I get him? You can't. It's sold out. Go buy it in the market or marketplace, or go see where that comes from. So that's going to be beautiful moves there.
Yeah, could you imagine, like, I mean, I don't know if people really care. It's probably a bad example, but like Sam Walton from Walmart, which is huge in America, the first appearance of something of him from a long time ago, or you think Elon Musk, the first appearance of that, getting David Yu and Reese and all them and the stuff that they're growing. They talked about they wanted to be the Amazon of NFTs and everything. Do you see them being that? Is that what you see the future being for them?
I could see that from the. Go ahead. I could see that from the standpoint of if they meet their expectations of what that Viviverse will provide, and that is something for everyone in terms of, it's going to be standard buildings that look like everything else and at every other metaverse. The fact that every section you have branded IP, where if you like steampunk, they have that city or that area that you can build out just like that. And with TypeScript, which no one's doing except as a AAA game is doing that, you're able to build within there. So you create the environment that you want. So if you have more Mighty's city, then the style of everything in that is going to be that way. So
cartoon
from that
style.
that standpoint, that's what the Amazon vibe of the NFT. Because if you look at everything that exists, Decentraland's all one style. Every metaverse is all one style. VV is projected to be all styles, and you build the style that you want. So from that standpoint, it's good. And what would be nice is that we do Epikoverse there as well, or a style maybe over there. If David and them can go over in terms of our IP. So that is, I think, what is kind of the idea of it being like the Amazon.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. Yeah, they're definitely going to have to all be interoperable for sure. Otherwise, well, I mean, that's like for me, Decentraland and Sand are just kind of I understand what they're doing, but to me, it's just not. I don't see it being mass adoption that way, because I know Minecraft has a huge following, but for me, I lived crappy graphics my whole life, because
Yep.
I'm 40 years old, so it's like I'm not going back down that rabbit hole.
Yeah, and just like Roblox as well. So like I don't
Right.
like any of those, but then you talk about, well, Grand Theft Auto is not so bad, or I like Epiko's style. That's not so bad too. I like that. It reminds me of Mighty's, which is my favorite one over there. So going to the Grand Hall, and with us, the characters seeing the art style, I like that. So we're more geared towards like the gaming and that style, and that's fine for our world. You come for that type of world, but over there you have options. So what's nice is no gaming people are doing what we're doing in terms of the collecting, the 2D app gaming, and then you can take that to a world. So it's just, we're like a league into our own. And we don't have to stop here. The mythology was just a start here. You can start tying in other mythologies and cross them there.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be interesting to finally see the Batman and Superman battle.
Yeah.
So NFT holder, if you own the, do you work with Epiko?
Yeah, I'm a stakeholder, a new stakeholder. So yeah, it's just something that, yeah, I'm more invested in to Epico than I am. Well, evenly so with Veve, but I'm always a stakeholder with them.
Nice.
So
I
I'll
was,
be doing the local. I'll be trying to. I met Venkatesh, is New York, uh, I believe, but I actually downloaded the game well before I even knew him. I downloaded it was beta when it was horrible. I mean, the game was just, and it crashed, and I liked the idea, but I love downloading betas and trying them, and I've done that for years. I mean, and then I met him through Veve a couple of these sessions. So to this time out, I definitely worked the booth and got back into the game because it's definitely much better. And then the other stuff that's going on.
That's awesome. So it is confirmed though. Basically, if you own the NFT, you'll have access to that character in the Epiko verse. That is, I'm understanding that correctly, right?
Yes, but it depends on which NFT, and I don't know how much he's said or I'm allowed to say. But there's certain ones like the Golden David U that gives you access to the metaverse and the game. All right. Then the other one just gives you access to the end game. And if you bought the shirt, then you'd get David. Hold on. David upgraded to level 8 in the game. So it just depends on which NFT that you're getting.
Okay, but that's cool. Everything comes with like an additional perk, kind of.
Exactly. Yeah.
Usually.
And what's nice is it's kind of catered to what you want. Because quite frankly, there's going to be people who love Epicoverse and hate tower defense. So then you get the NFT asset that gives you the most perks. I mean, I love that. There's nothing worse than buying a cable package and hating 90% of the channels. You got to buy it for the one damn thing.
Yeah.
So it's to me, it's forward thinking. It's not making you spend everything to get everything. But if you like everything, there's one stop shop. Get the golden one. So there's options there. I tower defense, like I played pretty much every day for 3 years. Clash Royale. So I definitely understand and love that world. So which is why when I first saw this, and they tied NFTs, and I was like, what? That's just I can own this, So there's a certain type of player that likes those types of games.
Yeah.
So no one's ever brought that into the crypto world, and no one's definitely brought that into the 3D world. So I suspect that's going to bring it to a whole new level. That like, if I love tower defense, now I could fight you. Can we do this for real? Can I try and walk on your calendar? Can I be one of the characters and try and take down your castle? You know what I mean? This is epic.
Yeah, and that's to me for Veve to be the Amazon. I want to see where you can take your characters and do voiceovers on characters and different screenshots and make videos out of it. And I could see that being like the next step, YouTube 2.0, where you take your NFTs and your assets and you shoot these elaborate videos. And then that's where the renting capability for me could come in for this. Is you do all this, and then people set that down in their living room when they got their glasses on. They can blow it up as big as they want, and they watch your videos and movies that you create. And that's the future I want to see for Veve to be the Amazon. And there was a guy on YouTube, I can't remember who it was making short clips of like Batman, and it was, funny, tongue-in-cheek stuff. That really was my aha moment, light bulb going off, where I could see this whole thing going, and that's just going to open up the world to everybody to create content that we could all enjoy and love.
Yeah, well, they discuss aspects of what you said, where they're going to allow people to create their world, and actually there's going to be job listings and postings within that world to provide some of those services to kind of build out. But in terms of recording what you were saying, that's something that you can kind of do now with your headset. You could go into something and you could hit record or screen record and project on your TV, but you can record that so you can go through the motions of making a video and then always bring it back and then overlay it with your voiceover. It would kind of be what you were saying.
Right. And it's kind of simplifying it because, yeah, people could do it, but how much time are people going to invest versus just getting in the app? And then, I think back to the annoying orange back in the day. And if you don't know what that is for people watching, it was an orange, a guy who got real popular on YouTube that somehow voiced or took his mouth moving and put it on an orange and had funny skits and was a huge YouTube star.
I remember that.
Yeah. So not necessarily taking my mouth, but making it to where their mouth can move and has teeth and, whatever it takes to do it. You do the voiceover and you simplify it as much as possible. And that's really, I think, going to be the certain niche that Veve could do to really skyrocket everybody's interest, because you'll have kids doing it. It's kid friendly, all ages, all that good stuff. So that's what I want to see. And then if I want to do, that's like South Park. For those that don't know, South Park started out as a Christmas card that two guys made at work and was just funny, and they made more, and then it blew up to the crap that it is today. And it's just simple art that they're doing, and it's the freaking tyrant that it is now. So that's kind of where I'm going with Veve and hopefully Epiko Regal, where we can create those kind of movies and funny skits, and it could be, moving forward like that.
Well, take it back to Simpsons. That was a Tracy Ullman crappy drawing in like a 2-minute skit, and it was awesome, and it turned into what it is today.
Yeah, and what are they on, like 40 seasons now?
Right,
35 or something. So yeah, it's incredible. But for me, right now, it's going to be hard to onboard people wearing this kind of stuff. It's too big. It's too bulky. Yeah, if you're sitting at home. But whenever we can get like Reese's head here, these, not Reese's, but Dan, his head here, these glasses when you can just slip them on and see and still see where you're walking, that's when Veve will become the Amazon. Epiko Regal, when it's not bulky.
Because most people are going to enjoy it, and that's going to be the same thing with us on their computer, running around in that mode than VR or AR until that becomes cheap enough and widespread enough. But I believe that if Veve does it right, then what happens is units are sold because of Veve. Right? Think of like the gaming where you can move a whole gaming platform because Modern Warfare is dropping on one platform and not the other. They sell Nintendos because Mario is going to come out, and that's the new one. It's only on there, that kind of thing. So if you can move glasses that way, and you get a synergy with Apple saying, "Hey, download this Veve app," or "Hey, download this the Epiko Regal app," because I read a couple things about Apple doing a special category for that to feature AR enabled apps to help push that model and to sell glasses, right? So if Venkatesh and what we're trying to work on is to get it into that feature, now you have them pushing us to the forefront where people are more inclined to buy something because of us. And so there's a nice synergy there. They need justification for why you even need the glasses, and we're a justification. We're synergy, and why they're going to like it is because they buy our game, they make money. Apple does, Same thing with Veve.
Right. And, I have no doubt in my mind that stuff's going to be affordable. Think back to the TV, the big tube TVs, and what you can get a 50-inch TV now for $150, if even cheaper than that now.
Yeah.
So, it's just a matter of time before glasses get to where they are. Even think how far TVs have evolved since then in the last 20 years. So we know glasses are eventually going to get there. There's no doubt about it. And I have no doubt in my mind that TVs are going to go away. People are just going to have their glasses and watch stuff. So this is so early stages. It's unreal, seeing it unfold at this time, because it's one thing I've always said, in my lifetime, nothing's really evolved. Nothing's really happened for the history books other than, wars, and that's about it. Only other thing I can think of is light bulbs. They've evolved into LEDs. TVs have evolved into LED TVs. What has really evolved other than medicine? Nothing really sticks out, kind of like electricity being invented or a car. So I feel like before, hopefully, if I live long enough, before I pass away, that it's going to be augmented reality and glasses and where that's going.
Yeah. Well, I think we're at that turning point now where there's no turning back. If you remember when Google Glass was first being developed, I believe that was about 4, maybe 5 years ago.
Maybe even longer.
Maybe like it seemed like they were so forward thinking and they were trying it, and they even sent out beta for people to try it. There wasn't an infrastructure, there wasn't a demand, and there wasn't anything else to support the need or want for that. While now there's so much more in terms of utility, and that people want AR and VR, and they want to socially interact in different different ways, and that brings them all to it. Also, the cost of it drops significantly. So we're ready for it now, right? So now there's real money behind it too, and you have everyone trying to do it, which helps.
Right. The whole Facebook changing the meta really, I mean, just that, them changing the name, watching the crypto market pop for Metaverses was unreal to me. And the interest was there. Of course, now it sucks, but seeing where what that did, it's definitely going to be the future. And I think back to Dreamcast. Dreamcast was ahead of its time, but it was too far ahead of its time, and that reminds me of Google Glasses.
Good reference. Good reference.
They were ahead of their time, and then they just nobody could design on it at the time. And then throughout time, they went bankrupt.
Before that, right before that was Sega Genesis CD.
Yeah, I had one. Cliffhanger.
Right.
I played Cliffhanger a lot.
Sega Genesis CD. Because that was the first time it was live people. I mean, not live people, real human beings in a video game where it was cutscenes that was introduced, and that never existed before, and that blew people's minds.
Yep. Yeah.
But the production cost on that was incredible, and no one knew how to build out from that. And then you could only play it one time through in one way, so it's just way too ahead.
Way too ahead. So I think, with Veve and Epiko Regal, I think they're sliding in at the right time, hopefully, and it's going to be interesting to see how that evolves for sure.
What's nice about Epiko is that the cost of development is going to be kept extremely low, and the idea of outsourcing didn't really exist, 20 years ago with gaming, or even now. Now it's much more a thing. So by outsourcing or creating content not here, you're able to keep the cost down and still get a same quality. So going to market for Epiko, that's why it's going to come out much sooner than people think. We're not going to have to wait 5 years for a good working product.
Yeah, they're definitely very ambitious with everything they're coming out with Epiko Regal, Epiko, the board game, and now the Veve or the Epiko verse. We know they're going to be coming out with a movie since he announced that with the morphing that's going on. So that's a whole lot just in their pipeline,
And the market. Epiko Market also.
Epiko Market, that is correct. Yeah, so Epiko.market, if anybody doesn't know, that's where you can go and buy their NFTs. I believe they have it on sale right now for a lot of them. And if you do get an NFT off the Epiko.market from them, you will get an in-game code that will give you gold and a Yantra now, and in-game assets. So be sure to pick those up. I still think they have some David U's in there, so David U first appearance is still on Epiko.market. Be sure to pick yours up.
If you're going to stack anything, that's a no-brainer. The Veve people just don't know it yet. I remember when I was at their area and they revealed it, and they just had a list of the things that are happening. When I read interoperable other projects, there are 2 projects I believe will come first. First is Fish, and then second is going to be us. That's how I feel. That's just because what other assets or it's going to be safe that they have and work with. I only know of two. That's us and him, right?
Right. Yeah, and
And
yeah, I want to see Epiko figures actually be released on Veve as well. The characters, or at least a character.
yeah, it's tricky. That would be interesting to do, especially. You know what? Especially, that's a good point. The only reason why I would say no is because we have that ability on our end.
Mm-hmm.
So it would if they came over and bought it on our end, it would be a bigger profit margin versus going to that end and then them giving us a piece of it. Although licensing out your own IP, that's the beautiful thing about Epico and why we can grow at a rate and make more money than a lot of other companies bigger than us is because this is all our own IP. When I say own, it's Epicals. They own that. They're not paying out a license. So we could license this out to other people, like you're saying, Veve.
Yeah, and my thought process behind that is, and I've got pulled up here a bunch of the NFTs, and these are cool, and yeah, we can see them in our 3D world, but what I'm thinking is, even if we just did one, and it was the king, or whatever they want to release on Veve, is people are going to see it, it's going to be on a drop day, and they're going to raise an eyebrow and be like, well, what the heck is this? And they're going to be like, Epiko Regal, and then it's going to drive traffic to Epiko Regal. So not necessarily saying release all of them, but maybe one of them.
Well, what's interesting is like we could almost as a community do that. And I say that from the standpoint of in Veveverse, you're going to able to craft and create and then sell in that world pretty much anything you want. So if you were to create those things in that end and provide it in that world, that's one end. But I do agree at the Veve level, at the company level, dropping it there, yeah, that would be significantly bigger. So that's a good point there.
Right. And here is some of the new cards that they've got coming out right here that we don't know anything about and hadn't heard anything in a while. But I know with the David Yu card coming out, they had this guy, the Prithvi, I guess is how you say that. They had him in there and the Indra in the cut of cards at the bottom, which I missed in my last video, unfortunately. But as I was rewatching it, I'm like, holy crap, there's these two cards I hadn't even seen. So we know these are coming to the game, and David, you will be coming to the game really soon as well. So hopefully in this update that they're trying to get past Apple soon, we'll be able to see those three cards.
I couldn't see. It looks like you were just on the X-Men comic page. Maybe that's just an error on my end. That's what I saw. But yeah, it was supposed to drop, and I don't know how much I can say. But there was an error. And when you before an app releases, you send a build to Apple or Samsung, and then they run it on their devices to make sure it doesn't crash and no bugs, and then they approve it. Well, for whatever reason, we weren't approved on iPad. Specifically the iPad Pro, I believe. So it's just one mod. So that's what got us all held up. If it wasn't for that, then it would have already dropped. So it's right there around the corner. It's just for whatever reason. Now, in order for on our end to fix that, you have to have every device and make sure it's okay on every one. So once it is good on everything except that iPad Pro. That gets fixed, it'll drop. Have the new update, David, and everything else. So it should be right there around the corner now.
I definitely know old Burn Turn Slick and probably Fat Booty are foaming at the mouth to get a hold of those cards.
All right. And when it drops, it's just around the clock. People are just going to be grinding to try and see what the new meta is.
Yeah,
that's the fun part.
Yeah.
So, do you see a spike in your viewerships after every update?
Yeah, usually after an update, people are jumping in just to check out. And I try to make a lot of my videos just so, because I listen to a lot of my stuff whenever I'm driving, so I try not to have it visually heavy. So, but yeah, usually after an update, that's when it's the biggest spike.
Yeah, there you go.
But I will say this Epiko.market, if everything plays out right, everybody hates OpenSea, or as some people call it, Broken Sea. and I have minted my own NFT on here. It was the one I beat Venkatesh in a game and minted it on here, and it went all pretty smooth. And
Nice.
yeah. So it was just where Kid Rolla beat Venkatesh, and I posted it up on there. I don't know if he bought it or whatever happened.
Is it still up there, Kid Rolla?
No, I posted it whenever it was beta, trying it out.
Oh,
So
you
I
haven't
think it kinda
posted
went
it
away.
since.
Yeah.
I was thinking of putting the global leader up here, but I want to give it some kind of utility, and I can't think. The global leader anthem, and I can't think of. Nobody would just want to buy it just for the song, because you can just download it on. But if I had a utility with it, like own this, but I can't think of any utility to give anybody.
So utilities that I could see moving forward, and that's a good conversation that we could have, is the whole spiel with NFTs is a utility, and what do you see utilities being? So like for Epiko Regal, for me, if you own these cards and they're having an event, you show them you've got a Epiko Regal NFT, you get a sticker. If you've got 5 NFTs, you get X. If you've got 100 NFTs, you get a statue. Show them at the show. There's you an utility. Give them some in-game codes to go along with it. Now, for like what you're talking about for an NFT for an individual, hey, we're going to Dcon. Anybody that owns my NFT with a music video or whatever I have that I'm putting out, I'll buy you a drink. Simple as that. It doesn't have to be crazy. It doesn't have to be
simple.
nuts.
Yeah, so we were kind of discussing a lot of that, different options, and it's tricky because just going off of modeling Veve, like I've been to almost every live event, traveling around, and so I saw the evolution of the Veve logo. If you're familiar with that, everyone?
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I know the pros and cons, and even this last event, there's still people who are kind of bitter about that drop. That physical drop versus the other. So it's a balancing act in giving utility to things where you show up in person or not. And you do want people to go in person because there's this energy that happens where if Epiko goes, now you want people like you or probably may start going where you want to reward that and you want more and more people to come. So a physical in-person asset that you bring is great. But then at the same time, you want people to get those when people who never fly out or can't, they see that, then they're feeling jealous, and then they want, well, I want something, so finding that balance is definitely tricky. But there's some things that we met some people, some other vendors that provide different products, and we were working through some ideas of how we can make that product something that's part of ours that becomes something that gives you in-game assets. So if you bring it to this event, you get this. Right? Or if you buy this in person, you can scan it and you'll get something online. So we're trying to figure out how to give it on two fronts: physical things there, or if you buy something like you said in the store, the marketplace, and you bring that to the next event, it gives you access to something, an experience, an alpha experience, or another asset.
Yeah, I definitely understand that, and just kind of first impressions in my mind, how you can counter that potentially, or something you could do, is I think back to like if you go, it's the fat boy coming out in me now, but if you go to like an ice cream store and you buy ice cream, you buy 7 of them, you get a free ice cream. So as these people do drops throughout the years, you could, if you participate in 100 drops, then you get airdropped X. It could do something like that. Or, coming to these shows, you got to really dedicate time and money. So, yeah, I think rewarding those people, giving out to random strangers that doesn't know anything, I can kind of see how people are salty about it. But at the end of the day, if you really want one and it's going to have that utility, you're going to have to pay to play. I mean, that's unfortunately the name of the game. But, make it to where everybody at least has a shot to some degree.
And what you're doing is you're rewarding fans. You're rewarding either collectors or players.
Right.
Right. And I'm perfectly fine. Some people might not like that idea, but when you do get these assets, that we gate them, where once they're claimed, you can't sell them. So I don't like. So we don't. So it doesn't become somebody who just plays the game and then dumps on you as a player who can't necessarily make it out there. That's fine if you want to sell it. But if it's claimed, maybe lock it as a claim within that account or whatever, for a certain amount of time. Something along those lines, where we support players and collectors over people who are just trying to leech and dump on people like you, who like to play the game.
I know legalities suck, and that's the biggest hurdle for a lot of this stuff, because for me, I'm like, okay, I get this thing, I lock it in for a year, 2 years, 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, 20,000 years, whatever. Then I get locked into rewards, or people could just sell it on the market. But what is that worth? Could you get more? Could you get less? From if a lot of people lock it up, yeah, those other ones are probably going to be worth more. But yeah, trying to find that happy spot is very difficult, and you're not going to make everybody happy all the time. So I mean, you could do what you can do.
But I hear what you're saying. But like Top Shot, was it them? Yeah, like they tried this season 2, I believe, where they call it cool down, where if you bought something in the market, or let's say in our situation you claimed it, there's a cooldown. So you have to wait till the clock runs out, and that clock is 30 days, and then you can turn around and flip it or sell it. So it slowed down that aspect. So it wasn't necessarily like you're locking it to get claims, but it's more just to keep an ecosystem a little more balanced and not fluctuating with these outrageous rises and falls.
Yeah, I don't definitely have an answer. I bet old Burnt Turn Slick does. How would you counter-react to all that stuff?
I don't have an answer to any of this stuff. I don't even really think about it.
That's true. Just play the game. We get way too deep.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would like to
keep
see.
it simple, man.
I think it would be cool as far as Epiko Regal is involved. Maybe these NFTs, if you could stake them for long periods of time, like depending on how long you stake your NFTs, you're like, all right, I'm staking this David U for a year. Then every month I get an in-game code that gives me 50 gems. It doesn't have to be a lot, or depending on how extreme you lock it. Like if you do 10 years, all right, I get 100 gems a month. Yeah. Gold, whatever, something of that nature, where you're locking this stuff up. And yeah, it's not, the gems and stuff you can't sell them. So it's only for you. So I feel like legality wise, it should be fine. But then you're getting at least something for being hey, I believe in Epiko Regal. I'm going to lock this stuff up for years.
Well, with the NFTs it's already set. If you own it and you can use it in the Epiko verse, then you can own the Epiko token. And if those are on exchanges and tradable, I mean, you can earn just right there already,
Well, yeah. Yeah, so you'll be able to upgrade it, and then the earning part will be more about playing in the Epiko verse. I mean, it's always still gonna all be built out to different options, but that for sure, where you can earn by doing activities. It will be interesting to see, though. You don't necessarily have to hold the NFT, so you could just actually just play the game, right? And that's what I like. There might be people who don't care anything about NFTs and just go that route. So balancing it where we don't put too much in forcing you to own NFTs in order to be competitive is going to be tricky.
Yeah. Yeah, you don't want to pure pay to play,
Yeah, that's the worst thing to do. That's just, you talk about rage quit. That's rage quit, and you just delete then.
Yeah, Yeah.
You got to give the option of grinding, because some people like that, and then some people, that's all they can do.
That's what we were worried about with the God cards. Me and Rolla have talked about them in the past, but I don't know. Hopefully they'll be beatable, Like if I don't have a God card, hopefully I can beat decks that do have them. I guess we'll see. It's all being built. We'll see.
Yeah, there's definitely got to be a balance aspect of there for sure.
Yeah, I mean, because every time one's dropped, that's automatic beta. So there's something is going to be wrong with it. And I mean, just using the reference of the Clash game, whenever they drop a new card, some other card indirectly or directly becomes beta because they didn't realize the
Right.
synergy between two cards.
Yeah.
So you could work. They could spend 15 development hours beta testing the God card and seeing like, okay, we have all the angles. They drop it, and in 2 days they get 1,000 hours of beta testing from the community who plays 900 different ways. So it's one of those things that you just got to drop it when you get the basics down, and then see how the community works it, and then you can adjust.
Yeah.
So we know
Yeah, they got-
Vivi's going to
yeah.
be having like accessories and stuff like that. Do you think they could do something to that nature where you could claim accessories that you cannot sell in the market, but how you claim those is if you lock up or stake an NFT for long periods?
Are you talking about what you think Phoebe is going to do, or what we could possibly do?
Yeah, both.
Well, with Veve, all of their accessories, it's going to be available via like Omi. Maybe they'll change that, but that's the plan. So you use Omi to buy that, and it's going to be so plentiful that it's not worth flipping. But if you buy a bunch of these accessories to create a new NFT, then that in itself is what you're selling. Then that's different.
So you're saying
So-
like make something out of out of the accessories, kind of like a Legos thing to sell?
Yeah, so the way it's being built, you'll literally be able to create all kinds of different things that is in itself has value, or that you can make value, especially if the person who made it is important. Like, let's go with Broken Crayons, who's a very popular artist right now. He has access. He's going to go in, and because it's built with TypeScript, you're able to, builders and programmers are it's going to have it's like a Disneyland for them. And artists can come in and they'll create something out of nothing. It's like getting a piece of paper and pencil. You give it to me, you get a stick figure. Somebody else gets those two items and they're plentiful, and they create a masterpiece and sell it for whatever. So the items are going to cost nothing, but what you create from that, that's the everything potential.
Now, will these be sold on Vive, like the creation?
Yeah, so they're going to create the marketplace would be it's yours to sell, and I'd imagine you throw a percentage to Veve as a storefront. Think of Amazon. Veve's Amazon. I can have in the marketplace create my store and sell my product. That's the ecosystem. They're trying to build that world where you could open shop and do that. What will be interesting is you could technically take some of the assets that exist and then build on or around that. But I believe that they're going to have to put limitations that are probably going to be significant. And because you can't take a Batman and draw and defile it, you know what I mean, or take one of the
Right.
female characters and do that.
Slick, have
So
you heard
where
about
those
this?
lines are, who knows?
Oh, Burn Turn Slick, have you ever heard of this theory yet?
Which theory?
What he just talked about.
Well, I know that's what. Yeah.
I haven't ever heard it broke down that way. I've heard like of accessories, but not like building your own to sell on the marketplace.
Yeah, if you go watch, did you watch all of the presentations for Saturday and Sunday?
No, I haven't had a chance yet.
Okay, yeah, just watch everything and it'll break it down, and then also watch Hello K's reaction after some of them, and you'll have somebody else too. They'll explain what a lot of that stuff actually goes over. There's another guy that broke it down and compared it to the ability to do that in another game, a AAA game. I can't remember the name of it, but it involved guns, and the example he used, and he showed it. Because this is what TypeScript allows you to do. You take this gun, and it's rapid fire, has a certain sound, and has this ammunition or bullets coming out. With TypeScript, he went in, he adjusted it. A different bullet came out the gun, different color, and it wasn't rapid fire; it was single fire. So you're able to take existing assets and change them or modify them or create, new ones. That's what TypeScript will give you the ability to do. And that's what they're going to they're building the world with.
So, are they going to make a separate Veve marketplace for creators, and then have the blue chip, Star Wars, Marvel marketplace, or is it all going to be integrated in one?
Oh, I have no idea on that.
That
No.
would be a good idea to keep them
Yeah.
separate. You know, as
Yeah,
far
I
as
don't, that's my
Yeah,
only
it
concern is I would
It makes sense
not.
to me. Yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't like to
That-
see where all that's on the VV marketplace. Like,
Yeah. You call it creators corner or whatever. You know.
right.
Yeah.
Now, I would be
Yeah,
on board for
that
it.
makes
Don't get
sense.
me wrong, but I don't want it to be meshed in and people making stupid stuff being where people are scrolling through the mega list and seeing
Oh
some
yeah.
dumb stuff.
Well, yeah. That to me that would seem like an obvious thing that they should be doing. And just whole other shit that could just be something that's separate from that altogether. You
Yeah,
don't
you
want
just
it coming up with Batman and other stuff.
it just blew my mind because this is the first I've heard. I hadn't been able to watch any of the videos yet because work's been crazy. But yeah,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah. They were,
I hear you.
they were talking about you could build your own game in there, and
Oh yeah. Oh my God.
earn
It's gonna be
from
incredible.
the game you built in
and
the
see that's where
VVverse.
renting
Yeah.
is going to play a big role right there when you do that kind of
Yep.
stuff.
Yeah.
Well, I'm excited for us in terms of because when I bring David over, and you create games, let's say to earn Omi, I'm creating Epiko games within the Vvverse, and that's doable. If you make
Yeah.
that popular enough, you like this, why don't you come on over? We got
Right.
it even bigger, a whole world of that. So it really is the world really is opened up. It's your oyster. You can build what you want to that extent. Now we're going to have that ability, not to that extent within Epicoverse. There's going to be the ability to kind of build out in how you want to, just not to that level because it's not really that kind of vibe. But doesn't mean that he can't start changing some of the stuff. But in terms of building within Epicoverse, the owners, the land, and the fans will be able to do that.
Well, see that it makes me think of that game Trials. Have you ever played that?
No.
No.
It is a motorcycle game that reminds me of back in the day of Excite Bike, how you could build your own tracks.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I got
Excite
Excite
Bike,
for
man.
my birthday. I
Yeah.
love that game. I build my own tracks. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. So Trials and that you build your own track to drive your bike, and it reminds me of Excite Bike back in the freaking 80s or whatever, 90s or whatever it was. And that's where everything you just talked about to me was just popping up in my mind about Trials and building your own game, aka track, and laying that out, laying the camera views, laying where everything pops off, fireworks and all that. So if they actually do that, that isn't, oh my God, that's crazy. Like,
Yeah,
wow.
yeah. So it's interesting because being in person at these events, another thing that Venkatesh, okay, a bunch of YouTubers say, and I agree too, is when you see what we saw on TV, it doesn't have the same effect. Being in person and seeing the energy and seeing the conversations that happen around you, and then getting alpha that's not actually presented because you could ask a follow-up question of something you see, and then they give you the answer like, oh my God, why wasn't that on the video? Well, they didn't think of putting it that way, but that would answer the question you have. So a lot of stuff that people learned when you're there, you could immediately ask them a follow-up question and they'll give it to you because it's not necessarily a secret. But you got to pick and choose what you put in the video. You got to put in the video that's going to have the biggest reach and impact on people.
Right.
So that's that's the importance of going in. Like I went by being there, I talked to David, and he had something on his laptop that no one else saw. If you weren't there, you didn't get it. And I posted it on my Twitter, and that was seeing his land, your property in AR. But people didn't really think about that, and they haven't seen it, and it wasn't in the video, but it was on his laptop. So you know how you could take an asset and put it in 3D in your living room? Well, you're going to be able to take your land and put it in 3D in your living room, and it's not your vault, it's your house. So I'm looking at the outside of my house right there in my living room. So
what's your Twitter NFT holder?
Yeah, Epiko Veve. So NFT hodler at Epiko Veve. Epiko come first now.
NFT hodler at Epiko Veve?
Yeah. So when you watch you'll see like hate videos. I'm like, oh, it's not that good, but these are coming from people who weren't there. When when I first saw it, it wasn't great, but I understand where they were coming from. It was low resolution, and they did that, which works better when in that environment. And they had a hard line in to the computer. So it worked flawlessly, didn't crash, didn't do any of that. So the point is just kind of present it. And then when you watch the video, you see the higher quality, But if you watch all the presentations, and then also watch the Sunday one of the reveal of the game, the animated anime game, 2D scroller left to right that burns Omi. That one they cover, and you'll hear about what they're trying to do with Omi, and then I mean with Veveverse, and then go back and listen to Hello K, because he does a technical breakdown. We're going TypeScript, or look up TypeScript in that value, and you'll see too. So the way they're building out, I feel like really does kind of help us in a lot of different ways.
Man, that's crazy. Yeah, I would love to have seen his screen for sure. Oh, here's some on your Twitter page. And what is
Hey, Kid
this?
Roll, a heads up real quick on our Discord. I don't know if it's in line with what you're saying usually.
Yeah, I don't know why it's not live viewing it then.
Okay, but you're getting it live, or you're recording it, right?
Well, yeah, I'm recording it live.
Okay,
So
all right. I'm just making sure.
It's probably got a little lag there. There's no telling.
Okay.
But on NFT Hodler's YouTube page, or excuse me, Twitter page, he's got I guess this is a Veveverse table that's going on here.
Yeah, that's your home at the Veveverse.
Yeah, so that's going to be airdropped to first quarter Q1. Everyone's going to get that, and that's just rather than being inside the vault, that's looking on the from the outside the house, and that's projecting it on. How when you want to put a Batman on in your living room and you scan the ground first, so you do that, and then the Batman's there with the same concept with your land.
Yeah, and they said these could be different themed. Like it's not just this future. They'll have medieval. They said steampunk, just different themes.
So you can build out what you want and the style that you want. To start with, it's going to be just cookie cutter, and which makes sense, And you probably, that's that you can start building out.
Did you play the the generic Veveverse they had last year?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
don't know what to call it. I mean,
yeah, but we know what you're talking about. Yeah, that was a fail, and they dropped that company. For sure.
I didn't think it was that bad. I mean, it kind of gave you an insight to what was going on there, but
that was just a build for a specific event or something, wasn't it? It was. Yeah, it was
they even made it clear
it was the Veveverse. They made it clear. They were like, "This is not the Veveverse."
But this will give you an idea of what we're trying to go towards.
Yeah, they upped the game on this one.
Oh, you got the Frankenfat?
Yeah, I ended up getting that.
That's cool.
I've had Twitter forever, but I never really used it. It's just one of those things that now it's kind of a necessity in this Web3 and different projects and companies now to keep up to date, So I'm going to start using it now.
I've never used it until Epiko, really, and I'm horrible at following people. I just post whatever.
Yeah.
I really don't even get on there a whole lot unless I'm trying to figure out what Epiko's doing, because it seems like Twitter has evolved into the crypto space platform for everybody for the most part.
Yeah, and regardless of how people feel about Elon Musk, his mantra has always been to accept blockchain and crypto, right, and integrate Twitter as much as possible into that. So at the end of the day, that helps us. That doesn't hurt us. That helps us. So we'll take whatever kind of help we can get.
Yeah, the one thing that kind of ticked me off is I have Samsung. I don't have Apple, and I was like, all right, well, I'm going to support Twitter. I'm going to get the Pro or whatever the crap it is they have that gives you the octagon around if you've got an NFT. So I pay the $6 or whatever it was a month, and it's like it's not supported on Samsung. I'm like, holy crap, are you serious right now?
Oh wow, yeah.
Yeah, it's for Apple only.
That's the problem with early adopters of anything that's built out that's new. It's like you you're first to market, first to get it, but then it doesn't quite work, or you want to be first and then you can't get it. You know. So a lot of times I see that I try not to get too excited, and I'll just wait till they iron it all out. And like the blue check mark thing is just crazy. It's going back and forth now about people's complaints and paying for it and earning it, and so at some point they'll iron that all out. But I think they even want to do their own wallet, crypto wallet.
Yeah, I don't doubt it, because he's wanting to be the everything application. And not only that, but I kind of feel like a lot of this is intentional that he's doing, because for me, it's like the Kim Kardashian effect. Any news is good news, don't matter if it's good or bad. And it's getting people talking about Twitter.
Yeah,
So,
and you're in the news cycle. I mean, half
Right.
the memes he's doing, those posts, is just to keep relevant, just to always be trending.
right.
You know, what's trending is the company that is putting out who's trending. The irony of that, you know, it's just
Right.
like,
And that's exactly what he's doing. So, I mean, it's working apparently, I guess. And I don't know. But yeah. Yeah, this Ledger wallet you have, or whatever this Akomi wallet is, can you explain that a little bit to me? How all that works? Because I've never had one of those.
okay, yeah. So the Comey wallet came out for the first time a while ago. The first they came out, they were going to come out with a credit card. That didn't really work. So they came out with this Comey wallet, and it's just like a not a trust wallet. It's just like another hard wallet,
Right.
hard storage wallet. Like is it Trezor? What's another one?
And
Ledger?
Ledger, yeah. And you work it the same way. It just has that the black and white screen where you could see your cryptocurrency. You transfer it on there. It covers the top 13 wallets. I mean, cryptocurrencies, and you can add some other ones. So it works the same concept, same way. I said, so it was just theirs. They came out with it. The last time they dropped a batch was, I believe, last December-ish or so.
It's been a while, for sure.
From what I remember. But it's you know, the problem with getting one, if they ever do come back, is that if you lose it, you need another one to kind of fix or get access to your stuff. But if you have
Right.
your 12 words, you can put that on anything. It's just that a lot of times people buy those hard wallets in two, you know. So they just so anyone who's listening knows, if you do have one and happen to lose one, they do. I confirmed with Reese. They do have a big batch specifically for those. So they won't sell it because they need a reserve in case I lose mine and I need to contact them, or mine goes bad and it's within warranty and I need to contact them and get it replaced. So they do have some. It's just not for sale. If that makes sense.
Yeah, I've never messed with those. I've got like a MetaMask and stuff like that, but I've never done a cold storage, so just kind of curious. But I do see that you got a Walton Mickey statue. Did you get that on drop?
Oh, I did. I've been with them since March last year. March last year, and
Hey, same March.
nice. Yeah, I guess we're OGs, right?
Yeah.
I got lucky. I got it at work, and I remember yelling out loud, "I got it!" You know, people next door, "What's wrong?" My coworker got it too. I got a couple of coworkers into it, and they went out to lunch, and he pulled over the road, and he got it, and he came back, and he's like, "Oh, I got that thing that you got. Is it pretty good?" I said, "Are you kidding me?"
Yeah.
Yeah,
I actually got one myself, and I've got a funny story about it.
Okay.
I was living in Wisconsin at the time, and I was working on a farm, and it was becoming real close to the drop time, and we were out in the field. And I told the guy, I'm like, crap, how am I going to get back to Wi-Fi so that I can get this? I'm like, man, I got to go to the bathroom bad. Like, I ain't going to make it bad. It's like, can you please take me to the bathroom? And it was like 5 minutes till, and I got back, and sure enough, I landed that sucker on the drop.
Yeah,
In
I
the
bet you
bathroom?
went back to work, all super happy.
I sit there, use the bathroom, finger quotations, and got back to work.
Oh, it was a
Best day
bathroom
of my life.
lie. A bathroom lie?
Yep.
You went back to work with extra pep in your step.
Yeah, I was happy as could be. I was like, dude, I just freaking landed a Walt. That's crazy on the drop.
Quits work,
Yeah.
Well,
but actually sells the Walt at the top.
man, no, unfortunately, I still got it.
No, unfortunately, my name doesn't necessarily an NFT hodler is not necessarily the best approach. I hodled that sucker all the way up and all the way back down.
Yep,
Yeah.
me too. Still got it. Still believe in it.
Yeah, but I mean, I at the core, I'm a collector. I may flip a couple, but that's just so I can collect other things that I want. So I'm like, even like the stuff I have for Epiko, like I don't plan on selling it. I like these things that I buy, and I want to hold on to that. When you create a community that actually cares about the game and everything else, that's the people that you want to create a foundation with. You know, you guys are a foundation. That's who you want. You know, and a good tell of a community is who are the people during the bear market.
Right.
That's your bread and butter. That's the people you need to listen to. Those are the people whose opinion, in my opinion, matter more. Just so, you know, slightly more. Now, it's always good to listen to other people coming in. You know, of course you should do that. But at the core community who've been there when we were nothing, and then now you're something. Well, you know, let's pay attention to that.
True.
Yeah, for
very,
sure.
Very good point. We got Fat Booty is. I don't know if he's gonna talk, but he's in the house.
Fat Booty,
Be afraid.
the ex-global leader. Ooh, that ought to get him talking, huh?
Actually, we're tied right now. I'm like
Are you really?
20 cups ahead of him.
Holy
With one game,
crap.
he could retake global leader with one match.
No way. You are that freaking close?
Yep.
Wow. Holy. That daggum
wanted to
tournament
talk to
got
him.
y'all going then.
I wanted to talk to Fat about, hey, maybe we should just slow down. You know, do a few games a day.
Yeah,
Instead
how
of
about y'all let Kid
100.
Roller
Yo,
get
what's
some
going
games
on?
in without getting his
What's
butt
up?
kicked, you prick?
What's up, Fat?
I just woke up, man.
It's
early
I
over
hate
here in
playing
Japan.
against you. You suck. Quit kicking my butt.
Bro, you're kicking my ass. What you talking about?
Man, I've beat you like twice.
You
You
get
guys
me.
do live stream battles against each other? That'd be fun to watch.
Oh my God, no. Because I have to talk and like try to focus, and that's not going to happen.
I'm down.
But everybody,
That would
Fat
be-
Booty is on. The almost soon-to-be XB global leader is in the house with the soon-to-be XB global leader.
Hold up. Am I not the global leader anymore?
Uh-oh.
I'm like 20. I'm 10 cups ahead, bud.
Oh
15.
damn.
15
You
cups
passed
ahead of
me
you.
in my sleep.
Oh.
Yeah.
So
Let's
Mr. Booty
see.
there, we are doing a YouTube video right now. We're on the tail end of it. We were discussing with Venkatesh. He jumped in a little bit before he got on his plane, so we didn't get to get a whole lot of alpha out of him. Just kind of covered what he's been talking about on Twitter lately and all that good stuff. So we got you on here. We're recording. So what do you want to say to everybody out there in the tournaments and that you've been battling against? Who is your nemesis other than Old Burnt Turn Slick and I? Who
That's a
gives
good
you the run
question.
for the monies?
You know, to be honest, like a lot of people are actually stepping up and really good, but probably Cresta. He's
Yes.
yeah, he's very, very good.
Very good.
We go back and forth a lot. Him and of course Old Burnt. I think the three of us, have some pretty epic battles. Who
So,
else can I mention?
Did you get to play
Maybe,
against Orion back in the day?
Hold up, say again.
Orion?
Orion.
Yeah, he was like the
No.
OG, triple OG of the game. He was the champion in the first tournament that they had.
No, I started playing like maybe like 3-4 months ago.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So a little bit before that first tournament, I think I started to play.
So since I have both of
A
you
lot.
on here, how in the freaking world do y'all have the energy to play this dadgum game as much as y'all do? Holy crap. Does your phone,
Ask
or is
Vern, don't
y'all's
ask
phones
me.
like
I'm
half
I'm
melted
crazy.
in your
It's just
hands
crazy,
or
man.
what?
You have to be crazy. Some
God.
mental problems.
Gonna have to hire a shift of people to play in shifts.
Mhm.
Dude. So what
So wait,
advice do both of y'all have for new players coming on board?
My advice?
Mm-hmm.
Copy the people at the top.
What about you, old slick?
Yeah, don't lose the same way every game, which I've seen happen. I see it quite a bit. You know, if you keep losing one way, just try something new.
And that,
And
with
level up
that
your
being
cards.
said, every time I go
Oh
against
yeah.
both of you punks, I just like start throwing random crap, hoping a different outcome happens.
I would say play very defensive. The game right now rewards being defensive, and then like at least the cards that are in the meta. So there are some players. I think Cresta is very good at being offensive, but for the most part, I think defense is the way to go. But that could change, right, in the future with the cards changing and the meta changing. But for now, I think that's what it is.
Yep, I agree. Play defensive and then push with whatever's alive.
Yeah, and learn how to kind of master your Raza, like and kind of count maybe the other person's Raza, like know what he has, how much Raza he has, so you can kind of like counter attack.
Kind of like blackjack, counting cards.
Did you guys play some battles?
No, we just been going back and forth, kind of the metaverse, where we see it going, what we want to see, and all that good stuff. So just been a little bit of banter talk this whole time.
Yeah, Venkatesh came in at the beginning and dropped some stuff about the Epiko verse and stuff.
And the not mutations, but the, what is it? Oh my God.
Crafting.
The crafting, yeah, crafting. He sent some pictures that he hadn't put out yet on Twitter about crafting. So basically, we're going to be able to mine gold, lumber, earth, other stuff to create, I guess, parts for your kingdom to build, is what it seems like. It has an RPG element to it, feel.
Okay.
Yeah. Pretty interesting.
Is it the
Epicoverse?
what is it? Yeah, the Epicoverse.
Yes.
So is that connected to the game, like the Epiko Regal? Like, will we be able to use those heroes as cards, or is that separate?
Hodler, can you confirm or deny that?
Yeah, the heroes will be usable in the next. Well, David, the hero will be usable in the next update. So yeah.
Okay, yeah, I think I saw the David U, but like the morphing, like so you can morph your original characters now. All those morphed characters.
Oh, like taking a hero and morph it, adding something else to create another one.
Yeah, or upgrading it.
Yeah, that part he hasn't revealed. That's all. Even those pictures that he dropped with you as alpha, I haven't seen those. I just know that we will be crafting. But I don't know to what extent. Like you take one item, a David, and you take another thing, and by crafting it, it burns those two David, making their existing reserve go down, creating a whole new a better or more powerful one. I don't know if that's going to be the play or anything. That would be interesting, though.
Interesting. That's cool, man.
But I
wish I was here earlier. I could ask a lot of questions.
Yeah. What we do know is the crafting where you add wood and fire and water, those different elements to create.
Yeah, we kind of asked him about the new green character that they posted, and unfortunately he was getting on a plane and was real muffled, so we couldn't really break down what he was talking about. So I don't think there's a whole lot about it. They just kind of have the skin itself made, and there'll be more to come on what it's going to actually do.
Is there a timeline to when there's going to be released? I thought it was going to be released last week.
As far as the green guy
update
goes.
Yeah, the new characters, David, you.
Yeah. So we covered it a little earlier, but what happened was there's an error, and when you push it to Apple and Google for review, they have to approve it before you can do the update. And it was pushed back because of an error. So they had to address that error. and we tried to get it, fast tracked, and it just didn't make it in time. So it needs to be fixed on the iPad Pro. It's getting an error. Everything else, it's beautiful. It's ready to go. So once that gets dealt with, it'll come down. But would have been nice to have made it during the tournament, But it's there. It's ready to play. It's good to go. It's getting that error, and you can't half drop it. It needs to be good on everything, or you can't drop it. So fingers crossed, next day or two or this week. But that's the thing. It's good to go. Just need that now to clear. Excuse me.
That's cool. And NFT holder. That's you speaking. Yeah. What's your name in game?
Muppet Poop, I believe. Yeah. I love that name.
Muppet Poop.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever battled you before, but
no, and for me to grind to get to your level, that's gonna take a long time. I had the game when it was like super early beta, when like you could be lucky if you can get through a couple screens and a game or two, and it did really evolve a lot. And then I stopped playing it for a while. Then I got back into it. I found it because I love Clash Royale. Played it literally every day I still play it regularly. For 4 years. So I do like tower defense. But this just is a whole new level, with these other aspects, the NFT, the ownership, and then the tie to the metaverse, the Epicoverse. It's just, to me, it was no brainer.
So you playing the game, you feel like it's got some good, maybe competition against Clash Royale in the future?
I think so. It's got more of a worldwide appeal, and it has depth. I think it has depth to it because that's a fun game, but it exists just as a game. There's no lore to that. If you watch the little videos that they put out and they create a storyline, and that's fun, and it's 2D animate. Well, it's 3D animation, but and it's all animated. That's them trying to do what we're going to do. So I like the aspect of following the digital comic books and then coming to the physical board game that I could take, and then doing the board game. It'd be interesting to see how competitive you guys get when you can do the board game VR. So it has all these different things that you could do with it. So that was something you're never really going to be able to do with Clash Royale. So, and at some point we're going to bridge into other mythology and folklore outside of the Indian culture. We have, Africa. We can go different areas of Asia. So I can't wait till we start bridging into those areas. So it's just taking it, and a lot of this is based on some truths, right? Whereas that's just kind of one trick pony, in my opinion.
Yeah, with the movies and stuff they got coming out, it's going to be pretty awesome to see how it evolves. And like you said, with Clash, they kind of did that, and I enjoyed those. But the whole NFT aspect is really going to shape and evolve this game versus other ones, because that interoperability you're going to be able to do as they expand and have the other games they come out with. And I'm sure if you're a holder, then you'll get some kind of utility tied to it.
Yeah, the kid that I had do the VR version of it, looking at the Epicoverse, it's just the 4 regions. He loved that idea that he could play the game because he liked tower defense, but then also he gets to be with them. It's like, oh, I'm part of you, or you're part of me. I can walk up and see you, and not just play with you. So, we're a lot older, so we look at it one way, but their imagination is on a whole new level. So it's just it brings a whole new. So to see a kid's face, it was incredible to see, and interesting, and then to see the parents see the kid's face. I had the mom who couldn't care less, and all of a sudden now she cared. She's like, oh, well, that's interesting. And then I told her from a cultural perspective what we're trying to accomplish and what we're doing, and so that it really kind of opened them up. And then the dad was there, and I told him the collectability of the NFT side, and that's actually what he likes. So it's like you could tailor talk to almost every member of the family to kind of pull them in. Someone's gonna like something, and if they can't, it's no technology time. I told the parents, and you know what you do? There's a board game covering the same topic right here. Your favorite character, pick your favorite character. Now play the board game. happy family time. Take that on vacation camping. So it's something for everyone in every situation. That's my pitch anyway.
Yeah, for sure, absolutely. I it's going to be interesting to see how they do this with all the characters that they're coming out with, and then the board games, how they tie it in, and the movies. And I think the biggest appealing thing where this sets it apart is because right now you can't really talk to the Clash people. Where on here you can talk to the team, and even with Veve and even Twitter to some extent, the CEO himself is reaching out to people where a lot of these games you don't even know the team behind it, let alone have that connection with. So moving forward, that's going to play a big role to the company's success, not just Epiko and Veve, but like other ones. If you're not communicating with your community and stuff like that, you're going to be a dying breed, and that's going to be huge for moving forward.
Yeah, it's good to me. It's going to be the determining factor on whether or not you make it or break it when a crowded space. It's like it's who's there and interacting, and then what'll happen is we could because sometimes the development time lag is going to be a while. But if you wait till you see your numbers drop in interaction, and you reach out and ask, and then you find out it's too late. But as the issues start arising, before people drop out and they reach out and they talk to the people who have the ability to change, that's a process we could work on changing to the way that you guys want, instead of after the fact. Instead of being reactive, is being proactive, and that's the difference between growing up in the games versus now. Like the way you do it is have that connection. So definitely, and that's something that Venkatesh really does believe in.
Yeah, just him jumping on here briefly. I mean, that speaks volumes to me, because he's about to get on a plane, and even though he's like walking on the plane, he's on here talking.
Yeah.
It's incredible. It's awesome. It's huge, and that to me creates a connection with me and not only people listening to show, hey guys, I'm here. I'm giving you every second that I can give you to kind of give you some alpha and what's going on in the space. And it's like 4 or 5 or 3 in the morning, whatever time it is there when we started this.
Yeah.
And he's losing sleep, and there's been times that he's jumped on and talked to me while not getting sleep. So I don't know how the dude freaking even functions at this point for the most part.
I don't know. And I've spent my multiple days when he flew in. I've spent multiple days with him and nights, and this man, I don't know when he sleeps either. I mean, and I burn my count on both ends, and he outperforms me. This man works around the clock, and he does not settle for anything less. I don't know if I want to work for him, not close, because he expects greatness. But that's exactly who I want to follow. That's the person that that I want to try and work with. He's definitely not going to let any balls drop if you can avoid that. So when your videos and when you guys have input and opinions, they don't fall on deaf ears. I've seen it firsthand. I can tell you that. That's why I'm passionate to be in this project as well. Project in this company. It's not a project. This is real. This is happening. So yeah, it's exciting to be this successful in a bear market. What do you think is going to happen during a bull market? What do you think is going to happen when we start hitting the ground running with AR glasses, VR glasses, and marketing for this game? I'm talking to the top players right now, and everyone's going to come in and look at you guys like, oh, these are the OGs, which is exciting.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be interesting to see as it evolves. I mean, I like playing the game, but honestly, I'd like to be the announcer, kind of doing play-by-play, what's going on. I feel like I could play a little bit better role in that than going against these two pricks right here that just kick my butt every time.
Well, you'll get to the point where you'll never play them because there'll be so many at this level. You're gonna miss the days where you kind of knew that player's move and like, when am I gonna see him again? Because, but I there's nothing wrong with the idea of building out a thing where you send out a challenge to your friend, and then that's how you guys will do it. It won't necessarily be for leveling up or anything, but this like casual play on the side. But yeah, that'll day will come, right? And the goal too, eventually, so you can't tell the second you play whether or not it's you or AI. I'm waiting for that day too.
I tell you what, though, the AI has come a long ways. Like used to, I could roll them pretty quick, and now I've got a challenge every now and then too as well. So they're definitely
I've lost to
countering.
the AI.
What's that?
What's that?
I said I've lost to the AI a few times.
Recently?
Right, that's what we like to see.
Yeah, because I would be, how you get to a grinding mode
Right.
and you would just be throwing out stuff.
Right.
And as I'm doing something else, watching TV or cooking or something, and then I'll notice that like 2 of my towers are gone and there's like 30 seconds left. And I'm like, oh shit.
Right.
I'll start trying to play, but by that time it'll be too late.
Yeah,
Yeah,
once
Same thing.
the 2 minutes is up or whatever, and it's the 2x time, that's when they really catch you, like really good.
Yeah. But just buying the time. A conversation I had with Venkatesh is like, we want the AI to be incredible and dominant, but where is the breaking point? The breaking point where if the AI is beating 90% of the people, that's not a good thing. If the AI is beating 60% of the people, that may or may not be a good thing. So it's like finding where that point is, where the AI is so good, but then tailoring it back so it's still likable. You don't want people to feel like they have to pay just to beat the AI, but at the same time, you don't want it to be knocked down. So that's a finesse that we have to work.
Interesting. I would like it. Obviously, I don't know how you guys do the AI. How it's all programmed, but to be able to maybe learn or adapt to each player's moves individually at a point. Maybe to a certain level, and that way, because once I play the AI, once or twice, you can kind of understand what they're going to do, and then you can kind of put out troops to make sure they do other stuff, and then you can win easily, right? But that would be interesting if the AI learned how to, counter your moves in a way.
Well, I've noticed they've dropped Saha and freaking Monkey Tree down once it starts taking arrows, so it's kind of getting a little scary there for sure.
Yeah, they know some combos for sure.
Yeah.
But hey, guys, I gotta hop off because I just woke up and I gotta get my day started. But I'm gonna watch the rest. You're gonna throw this on YouTube later, yeah?
Yeah, it'll be up probably an hour. We'll probably go ahead and close it out now. We've been on here for 2 hours and 11 minutes, so
Wow, okay.
That's a little bit of
Yeah,
content. There's some alpha in here for some people, and if everybody's made it through to the end, be sure to, if you've got YouTube videos or Twitters, go ahead and shill it now if you want, guys.
I don't got any videos like that, but I just say if you see me in battle, I'm very sorry.
That's good.
Give him the meanie face. That's what I do.
Yeah. I knew. All right, guys, I'm gonna hop off. Nice talking to y'all.
All right, Fat.
See you,
Take care,
Fat.
buddy. Old Burn Turn Slick, I see you've actually released a few YouTube videos out lately. What's up with that, man? Go ahead and give yourself a shameless plug now.
Yeah, I'm Old Burn on most social stuff, YouTube, Twitter. Old Burnt Turn Slick. I make a kind of do my own little music thing. Come check it out. I'm gonna try to stream Epiko occasionally on like a Twitch. Also, Old Burnt Turn Slick. Maybe when the update drops, I haven't done a long. I want to do like a 8 to 12 hour stream of when the new build comes out. Maybe I'll do that one day.
Okay, so definitely check him out. NFT, go ahead, brother.
Okay, so I'm at NFT hodler at Epiko Veve on Twitter. Don't really do YouTube. I just watch all the YouTube. I can't watch it if I'm listening to it. So just on Twitter.
So check them all out. I definitely appreciate you guys coming on here, especially the last kind of minute. I just wanted to do something before the holidays. I'm going to be on a cruise soon, so I ain't going to be able to make a video for about a week or do anything, which kind of sucks because I'm getting a care package from the team that I was going to do a blind box open, so it's going to have to probably wait unless it shows up tomorrow or Friday. If you guys got anything else?
I did stolen.
I'm gonna
do it now.
Because FYI, we had a number of issues with the stuff being mailed to us for the event. So that's something moving forward. We have to look at why they might get held up, but that's something Venkatesh is going to work on. Because our stuff ended up being stopped, and then we got it in sections. So it might take, if you don't get it right away, it might take a day or two extra.
Yeah, customs is a SOB. I've dealt with it for a long time, and you're lucky if you even get half the stuff that you were supposed to be getting when they start tearing into it. So
exactly. For some reason, they don't like magnets, for example. So you send a bunch of magnets, and red flags go off.
yeah, it's unreal what they'll tag you for. But anyway, hopefully everybody you enjoyed the video. We'll definitely get Venkatesh and NFT Hodler and Old Burn Turn Slick on here sooner than later again. Hopefully Venkatesh will be somewhere where he's got some more Wi-Fi internet so we can understand a little bit more what he's got to say. But we did get some good alpha from him. So if there's anything you want to ask the team, Venkatesh himself, be sure to put down in the comments down below. We will cover it in the next video and we will see what happens. So be sure to like, subscribe, and all that good stuff. And until next time, we'll holler.